Hey guys, my name's Lefty McRighty. My songwriting style is a lot more simplistic than most other people's songwriting. I'm not a very poetic individual, but I'm pretty good at making clever rhymes. And so my stuff is more on the basic side of songwriting. Not super flowery, not super poetic or rife with imagery, but more just stories. Admittedly, I'm inspired by a lot of dirty stuff that I come across in day-to-day life. I do like writing risque songs, but pretty much anything that I come across that's either dark or funny. Sometimes I'm surprised by the things that inspire me because some random string of words will just roll around in my head for days until I realize that I just need to write a song about it. I tend to write all of my lyrics first because my songs are all story based. The music comes later on when I just need to come up with a good catchy melody and some chords. That comes way after the fact. However, I do try to branch outside of that sometimes, so I'm not pigeonholed into always writing songs the same way. But for the most part, lyrics first. The most difficult thing I find is to come up with something original, to come up with something that I haven't done before, or to come up with something that sounds so good that I spend 2 days racking my brain trying to figure out who wrote that first. And so the most difficult part about that is actually letting go of this obsession, thinking it's been done before, and just letting the song speak for itself, and letting it be the thing that you wrote first. Several. Lots of writer's block. But thankfully, I've got different outlets. I also play lead guitar in a band, and I dabble on other instruments. So if I ever have trouble coming up with something creative, I at least have an outlet to do something musical. You know, I can practice chicken picking or piano or banjo if I can't come up with any good song ideas. Honestly, to get out of writer's block, I usually just let it get away naturally. I can't force it away because I'm an overthinker. Like I was saying about how I obsess about melodies that might have already been written. If I try too hard to get out of writer's block, it just becomes like a self-defeating cycle of more writer's block as I think about it too much. So I just let it naturally take its course. But I'm not really in much of a hurry to write songs, so I just let them come to me. You know, the funny thing about that is that even though I consider myself to be a songwriter, I don't really pay very much attention to other people's lyrics. I pay attention to the overall package of their song. And when I hear a person's song, I think maybe only 20% of the lyrics register with me. But overall, the song itself, the package of the lyrics and the melodies and the way that it's sung, the voice that it's sung in, all that stuff together makes for me a perfect song. So in that sense, my songwriting hero has always been Hank Williams. He writes a lot of really, really sad songs, but just a lot of really good, emotionally heavy and dark songs too, and also some fun songs. So, but he also sings all those with a lot of heart. And so I try to, I wouldn't say imitate, but be in the same league as Hank Williams. No, I try. I should. I know that collaborating with other songwriters is always the best recipe, but it's so hard to find a way to let go of my half of the creative process and let somebody else step on my lyrics, change ideas. It's really really difficult for me to do, but I recognize that it should be done. I recognize that writing in a team is essential. And it's one of my goals as a songwriter to improve myself is to start collaborating with people, as scary as it seems. I have a songwriting spot down by the river near my house. It's about a 5-minute walk. I can grab my guitar and just get down there. And there's usually a bunch of geese and some ducks and some water. And I just sit by the river and stare out in the water. And that seems to be a nice relaxation spot for me. And so I'll have an idea for a song anywhere all day long. I'll jot it down on my phone, on a scrap of paper, and then I take those ideas and I go somewhere quiet, like the river, to write them. Well, a good song, I mean, yeah, obviously it's a very subjective question, because in the end the good song is being judged by the listener and not by the person singing it. I've got so many songs that I think are great that the fans don't seem to really care for. And I came to realize that you are still writing for your fans for the most part. And I know that's sort of a sellout, some people would say a sellout attitude, but you know, if people were writing songs for themselves only, they wouldn't bother performing them. They would just stay at home and play them for themselves. I'm playing songs to make a group of people in a nightclub or listening to my CD in the car happy. And so I try to keep it light and simple and to the point. I try not to get too wordy. I just want to have a good, catchy, fun chorus and a beat you can dance to. This song is called 10 Little Lefties, and it's a work of fiction, as most of my songs are. I imagined what it would be like if I was a rock star gallivanting about the country and maybe betting women along the way, and that maybe over my career I might have a bunch of little children out of wedlock sprinkled all over the country. And I thought that was sort of a funny concept, and the line 10 Little Lefties is just a nice little, that's an alliteration. One of your best songwriting tricks is to use an alliteration somewhere in there. So you got the two L sounds, 10 Little Lefties, and it just rolls off the tongue. It's a beautiful sounding little thing. And so just based on those three words, I was able to construct the whole song. And there's no story because it's all fake. I came up with a catchy chorus first, and then filled in the blanks with the verses. And when I was writing the song, I made sure, because this isn't really so much a story, I just made sure that each verse said something different. You know, the first verse sets up why I have all these kids. The second verse is all Canadian-themed cities. I name cities from coast to coast, and that sort of wraps it all up into one little package. And then the last verse talks about the particular girl who I might be singing to in this song and how she thinks that she's going to be Mrs. Lefty, but no, she's just one in a string of many who I'm going to leave pregnant and alone, which sounds dark, and that's why it's a terrible work of fiction and not, I'm a really nice guy. I've been everywhere, from coast to coast. I don't mean to brag, no, I don't mean to boast, but I've had my share of luck with the women who were eager to please and ready and willing, been down most roads and back up the others. I turned plenty of girls into first-time mothers. Well, they're waiting for me to return their calls, but if things go right, I'll never see them at all. 'Cause I've got 10 little lefties a-kicking up trouble. 10 little buggers, 10 different mothers, 10 little bastards running around, looking for a man who don't want to be found. From Saskatoon to Edmonton, I get in their hearts and I'm gone again. To Fredericton through Quebec City, I'm looking for a gal who's looking real pretty. From Victoria all the way to St. John's, every single girl thought that she was the one. At least till the booze flushed out of my system, then I'm on the road for a new destination. I've got 10 little lefties a-kicking up a trouble. 10 little buggers, 10 different mothers, 10 little bastards running around, looking for a man who don't want to be found. I can't figure out just what I'm looking for, but there is one thing that I can say for sure. I'm a man that ain't looking to settle down, so pardon me if I don't stick around and learn your name or remember your face. Well, you're a lucky girl, at least you got a taste of what could have been if you
were the one, but you're not, so excuse me, cause I've got to run. I've got 10 little lefties a kicking up a trouble. 10 little buggers, 10 different mothers, 10 little bastards running around. Looking for a man who don't want to have a 10 little lefties a kicking up trouble. 10 little buggers, 10 different mothers, 10 little bastards running around. Looking for a man who don't want to be found.